podcast that no one listens to with your host, Kevin Porter.
So yeah, what's this thing you're telling me about Defy making its return to Seattle, Jack Hennessy?
For 2 nights with Jake Roberts there. I'm ready to part like the Red Sea when they make everybody fucking get out of the way when there's high-risk spots involved.
So you just want to get them out, get out of the way of it? You don't want to be around it?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to be a liability, man.
Oh, you don't want to be a liability, okay? Because I'd be down for that too. I'll be like, yeah, dude, I'll get taken out by a fucking 400-pound professional
I don't need a
wrestler.
broken leg, but I guess I'd get rich from it. But then again, it's an independent promotion, so maybe they don't have the money to pay me.
You're just gonna bankrupt the whole entire promotion.
I know. I'll put them out of business.
You're gonna be like, well, we were gonna run that New Year's Eve show.
I didn't even mean to, but like, I need to get paid because now I'm out of work for 6 months because my friend Guillermo, the wrestler over there, fucking jumped out of the ring with Super Crazy and broke my leg.
It happens sometimes, dude. I mean,
it does. My friend who I went to the UFC with in Arizona last month, he went to some like mini like lucha show a couple years ago with like his old girlfriend at the time, and it was some tag team ladder match or something, and like the ladder like fucking tipped over and hit him and his girlfriend or some shit.
Like on the head?
Yeah, like he's a dude, he didn't care, but she was all freaked out about it and they had to leave because of that.
Oh, what a fucking loser, dude.
I mean, they're not together anymore, so that you can see why.
Yeah, no, dude, I would have, if my wife can't take a fucking punch in the face,
can't take a spot.
Yeah, she
can't take a high risk spot.
If she can't handle me in my worst, she can't handle me in my best, man. So, oh no, that sounds like it'd be fun, dude. I always had that dream being a professional wrestler, but
me too. And now that I know a wrestler, he could get me in the door. I just want to take some bumps. Even if I get a concussion, I just want to take some bumps.
Yeah,
know?
Yeah. I do. Like, do you think you could take it?
I don't know. You know, like there's times where like I was a kid and like my brother punched me in the face and I was out of it for 5 minutes, or when you stub your toe you hit your knee on the side of one of these tables, it hurts like hell. But how do these UFC fighters and professional wrestlers keep getting hit and then they just walk forward like it's nothing?
Well, it's like I would imagine, at least in the moment, dude, you're all adrenaline.
That's one thing I guess. A lot of testosterone probably does that. But I told I want to just train in MMA. I could never fight because I don't want to get CTE. But I remember I was telling Sherry Chicago a long time ago, like last year about it. Like this time last year when there was nothing to do, I told her and she's like, I don't know, that's too gory for me, and your face is too pretty. I'm like, if my nose just gets broken once, it won't, it won't hurt. It won't be a question mark just after one broken nose.
You get the cauliflower ear going and shit, dude.
Fucking cauliflower. Some dudes have that. It's weird. Like some people don't get it, and then some people have them so bad where they're like sticking out and they look like Nosferatu or something.
Yeah, it's a badge of honor for those people.
Because like I don't know, you know Misha Tate is, right?
Yeah, of course.
And she came back. She's out of retirement. She came back last weekend and won. And it's weird. Like she's been fighting. Well, I mean, she took 5
She actually won. I didn't see any fucking headlines about it.
Yeah, she won. It was against this girl named.
That's good. I'm glad.
Some girl who's like 44 years old. I forgot her name. She's 44. It was her retirement fight. And she won. She finished her in like the second or third round. I think it was the second round. And then, but it's like weird. Like she's been off for 5 years, and like she doesn't have cauliflower ears at all. But then some people do, and they're just terrible.
Have you ever seen a chick with cauliflower ear though?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I noticed that. I guess that
That's a good question because I don't think I've ever seen a chick out there rolling around. I mean, I'm sure it exists.
Yeah.
If we Googled it right now, I'm sure a chick with cauliflower ear, it'd be all nasty and disgusting. But like, still, For those people, man, it's a badge of honor, man.
It is.
Yeah. I remember, like, and I've told this story on the podcast before, but like, I did like 2 days of like going to the Yakima MMA gym.
The one on Yakima.
Yeah, I had the guy that passed away a couple years ago.
Rich Guerin.
Yeah. Him, and then the guy that was been Julian
Arosa.
Yes, he was there the 2 times that I went, and like I paid for the month. And I remember just going there and sitting there and with the rich guy, the rich dude, and like just like picking his ear and shit while I was like because at that point they'd already gone to the UFC. And
because he's been in and out of UFC a couple times. He's been back in for a year now.
And this is definitely like at least like 5 years ago,
2010 or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe. And I just remember asking him, I was like, oh yeah, was that cool, He's like, oh dude, he's like totally hammed it up and shit. Like, but I remember when the next day I came and I actually did like a practice and like
wrestling or like
like what they do. I mean, it's kind of like, well, I did wrestling back in like middle school and shit, so I'm kind of used to like a practice like that in a sense, like I've done it before. But like, yeah, they just start you off with like stretching, and then you got to do these like running exercises, and then basically for the main classes they just teach you how to like to go ahead and you know, just like do a specific move or whatever, like, you know, go from here to here, your
like practicing your like transitions.
Yeah, your transitions
and, like,
and everything.
Getting in and out of guard positions and stuff like that.
And like I said, dude, I only did it like 2 times, but like when I did it though, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, like if I actually would stick with it, I would totally understand it and totally click and everything. But like the times I did roll around with like people that were like, you know, because at the end it was like a free roll type thing.
Yeah.
So I rolled around with this one dude that straight up like has like, you know, like amateur fights here. I forget the dude's name, but like he took me down so
was it a
fucking.
Hispanic dude?
Yeah, he was Hispanic.
Jorge?
Could have been, but like dude, like, you know, I wasn't like. You know, I knew I was gonna get my ass kicked, obviously, but like just the way he manhandled me, you know, just like boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh, yep, tap out. Like he tapped me out like at least like 5 times, dude.
That's what I was thinking I was doing, because they don't have that here anymore, obviously. But there's a MMA gym in Tri-Cities, and I saw they have like a thing where you can get like a 5-class like punch card trial thing, and I was thinking of just doing that. And I'm like, if I enjoy it, like shit, maybe driving down there like.
It's a workout,
twice
man.
every other week.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it'll be worth it, but maybe not. But I just put a punching bag in my. I have a shop garage like this, and I just put a punching bag in there. We just installed it the other day.
That's what's up, dude. So you've been getting down on.
I haven't yet because I've been away, but yeah.
You know, that's one thing I've never really fucked around with is like a punching bag, dude. I imagine I've never like really like focused on like fighting skills, you know.
I have a dummy too, but I don't really like it because, you know, they're like a human, you know, they're that tall, you know, so it's like you can practice like you're practicing with a person, you know. But the thing about mine is they're better if you get those like leather ones, because mine is like fabric. Okay. So when I punch the head of it, it's like punching a fucking pillow. You know, when you have like the leather ones filled with whatever, like feels like there's some resist. Like I just feel like I'm punching a pillow when I do it.
It's like it's kind of like you know, a sex doll, dude. It's nice, but like it doesn't you know, fulfill the need.
It doesn't. Yeah, it kind of does, but not only halfway though.
You're only halfway
enough for me.
Exactly. You need the real experience. Yeah, no, dude, it's a workout, man. The only reason I never went back to that shit is because the guy was all talking about how he got MRSA, and it freaked me out, dude. I was like, I don't want to get fucking MRSA.
That's why, like, or you get like staph infections. Like, I've seen like UFC fighters fight with staph infections. It's like a big ass lump right here on their chest. But that's why they make you shower like right after like wrestling meets or stuff like that, because staph infection and MRSA and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was lucky when I was a kid, dude. I didn't even like wasn't even really aware of it as a kid, to tell you the truth.
My dad never wanted me to wrestle when I was a kid because he did when he was a kid. Yeah. Like everything my dad did as a kid that he didn't like, he completely kept me away from it. Whether football, wrestling, you know, those are the main 2. I played every other sport. I played basketball, baseball, soccer, golf.
Which one were you the best at?
Probably, well, I played soccer just because, you know, like every little kid does when you're in like kindergarten, first grade, but I'd say probably the best, probably golf, and then basketball second, just because, I don't know, basketball, I was always on teams with like super dysfunctional kids who like didn't know how to fucking play, so they would never pass me the ball or anything, so.
Just ball hog it up.
Yeah, because they didn't like get it. Like even when you go play pickup now, like I try to play with these kids and they're like, I'm like, who taught you? Like who taught you? Because like, I was always taught when you play basketball, you have to keep a little bit of distance from the guy you're guarding. And when I play basketball with some of these kids, like, they're guarding me, and they're, like, standing on my fucking feet. And I'm like, you can't, this isn't how it goes. Like, they don't get it. I'm like, how have I known this since I was 5 years old? Like, you give them a little bit of space, and then they don't get it. And it's like, it's not fun.
Well, where the fuck are the coaches, dude? Like, you think coaches, like, step up and...
People hanging around and stuff, but yeah.
Like, these guys have just been playing amateur basketball their whole lives.
Yeah.
They're like, we just made up our own rules.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's like, then they get mad at me. I'm like, but that's not how you play, is just standing on someone's feet so they can't move.
It's like, bro, I need to stop you in your shoes right then and there, dude. Because then I guess they're trying to force you to just like throw the ball. Or,
yeah, pretty much. And then they slap it out of your hands. I'm like, if there's a referee here, that's a reach foul, you know?
Right. Yeah. Well, fucking call him out on it, Jack.
I don't want any.
Yeah.
I just
you don't want to get in a fight.
I haven't been there since like before everything last year, but back then I was way less confrontational even than I am now. So I just, you know, I'm like, whatever, just let them do their thing.
Right.
And a year ago right now, I thought like we were never gonna get out of all this stuff, and then I look back a year, right? Because like my birthday last year, like everything sucked. Like I was depressed. Like everything was still, you know, we couldn't do shit. We didn't know what was gonna happen next, but now I can say I've flown. I've been in a sold-out arena, 2 sold-out arenas.
Nice.
And I'm vaccinated and I'm chipped, and now I'll never get lost.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks, Bill Gates.
As soon as you walked into my room, dude, I noticed my 5G signal.
I know.
And
Like,
straight up, I was like, fuck,
dude,
thank God.
if you put a magnet, if you have a magnet, it'll stick to my arm right here.
Shit,
It just sucks though. Bill Gates still hasn't sent me my new Xbox. What is it? The new one? Xbox Series 1.
Oh, dude, fuck Xbox.
Series X,
I'm all about that Sony PlayStation, boss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never actually, outside of the original Xbox, like I've never actually bought like an Xbox.
I've had gone to like friends' houses who had like 360s when I had when those were the systems.
Right,
you know?
the PS3.
Now we're at the beginning of PS5, but it's mainly people just with PS4.
Yeah, if you could fucking find one, I don't even know if you can find those Xboxes right now. Can you?
I don't know.
I haven't, like, to tell you the truth, I haven't gone looking for one, but like you just hear the rumors, and like I go to Best Buy, like it's not there.
I don't know. Like when the PS4 came out, my grandparents got it for me for Christmas. Like that was like a month after it came out, and like what you notice is it takes like a year before a system really gets rolling. You know, because like the first games are really like prototypes almost. So it's like I'm not in a. I'd like to get a PS5 eventually, but like. There's not that many games out.
Yeah,
they're still in like the working stages of it. So maybe I don't know. Maybe sometime next year. Or something.
I'm so fucking invested into the PlayStation 4, dude. Like I counted the other day, and I have like 80 games downloaded on my fucking computer on my PlayStation.
How do you fit it all? Are you mean like?
Oh, dude, no! I straight up bought a 5 terabyte fucking hard drive. Oh, okay. That shit, dude.
Because I can only fit like 5 games on mine. Because like the
not all
big
of them
ones like fucking
most of them are downloaded.
Those ones like Red Dead Redemption like take up so much goddamn space. So like you can delete them and keep them in your library and then download. So I only have like 4 games downloaded on my shit right now, but like all I play is UFC just because it's like my comfort game. So
it's just like, man, I got nothing else to do, dude.
I was gonna start playing Red Dead Redemption 2 because I got like half I got through like half of it during like last year when I was off work for like 4 months because of the pandemic, but I want to pick back up on that.
Yeah.
Have you ever played it?
Yeah, no, I totally have it.
Yeah, I like stealing people's horses.
Yeah, dude, I was always like more into like Grand Theft Auto.
You ever play Mafia? Any of those? Mafia?
I've heard of them.
There's 3. Yeah. There's 3 of them now, I think. Yeah, there's 3 of them. But my favorite was Mafia 2 because it was originally on the PS3, but you can get it on the PS4 now. And there's like you can like go. It's like set in like the 1950s, and like Grand Theft Auto to me, it's like almost too open world. So you get distracted. Like Mafia is like. It's open world, but the missions and like the story is like actually intriguing, so you stick to it. But then you can like go in like the bar and like you can like drink, and then you like look at the bartender, and it starts like you start seeing 3 of them and shit. That's cool. And then you start a fight with them, and then like the cops will come, and then if you have money, the cops have you like down on your knees, with the handcuffs, and then you have like the option like triangle bribe the cops, and then you just like reach in your pocket and slip them a little bit of money, and then the cop just walks away.
It's all on their police, cam and everything. They're like, yeah, we totally got that, bro.
It's the 1950s, man. There was no dash cams.
I know, dude. The back in the day, dude.
Yeah.
Back in the day when it was real. Now I haven't played the Mafia games, but I've totally heard of them.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Dude, I know. Like, I haven't really been playing a lot of video games lately, dude. Like,
yeah, I have.
If I play anything like talk about comfort games, dude, mine's like probably Madden.
Yeah,
like, Madden's my fucking go-to.
The sports are always like your comfort games because
you're
like too tired and you're like, I don't want to be like invested in like the story right now because I just like worked all day or something. So like that's me with UFC, and then like I'll play like the fights that are upcoming and the next pay-per-view or the next just regular like fight night, and then like. What was it? I play like sometimes like I don't know like when I played the very first one in like 2000 like there was ones way back in the day for PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, but I never played those. But like I played the very first one that I bought when I was like in 7th grade. I bought the first one that was on PS3, and me and my brother used to play it, and we would just punch each other back because we weren't smart. I was 12 years old, so it's like we weren't smart enough to figure out how to do the takedowns, how to transition, how to do all that. So we would literally just punch and kick each other the whole time. But now I'm really...
That's how I still play it, dude.
Now I'm really technical, man. I'll get on the ground. Like, because, like, I'll say that the newest game, like, I'll say that one of the most... There's places in it where it can be more realistic and less arcadey, but the one thing that is realistic about it is like the stamina. So if you're just swinging on a guy, you're gonna run out of stamina real quick. That's why my dad, like when my dad watches UFC with me, he's like, "Why don't they just punch him more?" And I'm like, "Cause you can't just swing for the fences, cause you're gonna get gassed out, and then you're gonna he's gonna knock you out, cause then you're gonna be too tired to defend yourself."
That's how I like to take my chances, though, man. I just go in there swinging and you just hope you get them on that fucking one hit, dude.
That's what they say. Like, I don't know if you've heard of it. Arosa was actually on that show. They usually start, the new season always usually starts in, like, the late summer, and then it goes to, like, October. It's called Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series, and it's, like, on, ESPN Plus, and they bring in regional, fighters who are up and coming, from the guys like Arosa. He's been on it before, and I think it was like his second stint, but like they hand out like so many contracts a night, and typically, like, okay, when you're on the main card of a UFC pay-per-view, whether you win or lose. For one, your job's safe, and two, you're getting paid. So you're not you want to take risks if you can, but you don't for sure. Like, these guys take risks and just go all out. So that's why it's like nothing but finishes, because these guys are fighting like literally for a contract. So then, like, at the end of the show, they'll have Dana White like with his papers and stuff, and he'll review each fight. And it'll be like a fight that went to a decision, and he'll be like, yeah, maybe we'll see him here someday. Not tonight. They didn't take any risks. They went for the stalemate. They were just trying not to lose instead of going for the win.
Right.
And then they'll be like, oh, this guy, he showed, but I'm not going to give it to him tonight, but I'm going to, invite him back next month, or then there'll be like times where a guy, did an amazing, spinning heel kick and knocked out, and then he gets a contract like that, no problem. And Arosa's been on that show like back in the day. Last year I watched it, and there was a dude from like Tri-Cities on it. So
yeah, I think I saw something in the news about some dude in Tri-Cities was getting.
Yeah, then I saw some other thing.
Some dude from the Lower Valley was in the UFC, wasn't he?
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah,
he's from Wapato, Gustavo Lopez.
Oh, that's what's up.
I think he's won, like, I think he lost his last fight, but he won the last two before that. But like, when you're not, Conor McGregor, and you're at like the low tier, like, all you gotta do is, like, because like Dana White always talks about how he wants to keep like the roster like super trimmed. So guys who are on winning streaks get cut all the time. So it's like,
wow. When
you're like, not okay, like Arosa and like the Lopez guy, like they're pretty established now. Of course, they're not in the top 10. That's if you're not a champion, you always want to at least aim for the top 10. But they've made a name for themselves. But there's guys where, like, if you're really, really low, like, your next fight, your job may or may not be on the line. Whether you're still under contract after that one, or, because he just always wants to keep the roster trimmed, so.
You always hear about people like, because what's his name, Ariel Helwani?
Yeah.
He just got like, he's like pretty much officially banned from all UFC events since he's not working for ESPN now, I guess.
Yeah, he's not, because like he started with his own like independent work, and then he went to ESPN, and now he left ESPN. And he's like going back on his own.
He's working with was it Sky Sports or whatever?
Yeah, something, which is in Canada. No, that's like in England, isn't it?
Yeah, it's England. Yeah,
because he's from Canada.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
That's TSN is like the ESPN of Canada. But yeah, I don't know his deal, because like once they started doing shows with fans again, he's like still not going to them, and I don't know why.
Well, he doesn't really need to, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, but it's like you'd think he'd want to if he could. Like,
yeah. Well, I always heard that, because he like broke the news about Brock Lesnar coming back.
Yeah, because remember, he was the guy who was interviewing The Undertaker when Brock Lesnar walked by and was like, "You want to remember that in like 2010?
Yeah,
it was like that. UFC in like Anaheim or something," and he goes, it was when Brock Lesnar walked by after he lost that fight. He goes, "You want to do it?"
Dude, that shit was so cool, because I remember getting all hyped. I was like, fucking Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. And then
it happened. And then
Undertaker got concussed in like 30 seconds.
4 years later at WrestleMania, the Streak
2014.
Broke.
Yeah, that was That was an interesting. I remember that day really well because Brandon Allen fucking left like right after that match because he was so mad the Undertaker lost.
I didn't think he was that passionate about.
He was pretty passionate about the Undertaker's fucking WrestleMania.
I remember that was when like
WrestleMania
Vine.
Yeah.
That was when Vine was popular.
Yeah.
And my brother made a Vine where he just rewound it like later on where it showed Brock Lesnar pinning him 1, 2, 3. And then he just cut the camera to him. And then he cut the camera to him being in our kitchen. And then yanking open the drawer of knives.
Oh, jeez. Just drove me to suicide, man. The Undertaker, man. I was reading the reports. The Undertaker was backstage at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view on Sunday.
Really?
Or is there that or Raw or something? And I was just like, oh, please, God, don't pull him back in the ring.
People always troll on Twitter and they put like a picture from years ago of like CM Punk at an airport. And then they tweet it and they put like, oh shit, my friend who works at the Dallas airport just sent me this picture as a joke.
No, that's a good way to troll people, dude. I bet a lot of people.
It worked back in the day, but not now. He's too busy commentating cage fighting FC or cage.
Yeah, wasn't he like all at like the ECW arena and stuff?
Yeah,
like,
it's
commenting.
most of them are in Philadelphia. I mean, they go and do it in like Miami, but like they're not like UFC. They don't do it every single week. They have a show like once every 2 or 3 months.
Right.
Typically, whenever like UFC always takes the weekend off when it's like the 4th of July or like Memorial Day or something, and then
because they're so American.
Yeah, and then they always do a show that week. I guess so they don't have to compete with it. Or I mean,
they can capitalize on the.
Weekend, then again, they have a working relationship with UFC because it's their shows are on the UFC Fight Pass, which is like the WWE network of UFC, and then they're.
I mean the Peacock network of
the
UFC.
Peacock network's stupid. I don't know. I was hating on Peacock, but then like they have
some good shit on
there. They have some good documentaries.
Yeah.
They had that John Wayne Gacy one.
Yeah.
And they had another. They have those shows where it's like about killers, and it's called like In Defense of, and it's like Jodi Arias, and it's like Jodi Arias. They had the John Wayne Gacy one's like 3 parts.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, and then they had the show about Ghislaine Maxwell,
Ghislaine
Epstein
Maxwell.
fucking stupid chick.
I watched some stupid thing on Donald Trump. It's like Donald Trump's a billionaire president. It was all like lifestyles of the rich and famous. As president.
And like I watched that Ghislaine Maxwell show because it was like 4 parts, and it like the way they're advertising it on like regular TV, I was like, oh, this might be interesting. And then I watched it. I'm like, I thought I was going to hear some, like, dark shit and stuff. And I watched it, like, all 4 or 5 parts, whatever it was. And I'm like, this isn't anything I haven't heard on CNN
they
or
just
the
copy
news.
and paste
I'm
it.
like, this is stupid. Like, why do you even spend, probably millions of dollars with these networks? And it's like, just to do the same thing over and over again. It's like, I literally learned nothing. I haven't. Okay, she's friends with Trump. She was friends with Bill Clinton. I'm like, okay, we've known that since last year when she got arrested. We've seen all the stupid pictures where she's at Bill Clinton's daughter's wedding and shit like that. So it's like, I don't know. And then I feel like she'll probably die mysteriously or something too eventually.
Yeah, she's going down. Just like what's his name just died, fucking McAfee?
John McAfee or whatever.
Yeah, John McAfee.
So someone when he died, someone on Twitter was like, it's like, oh shit, I thought it said R.I.P. McAfee and I panicked because I thought it was Pat McAfee.
Oh shit, fucking Pat McAfee's a fucking American national treasure, dude. It's like initially when you hear about Pat McAfee and like see him, you're just like, what's up with this guy? But then you watch him more, and it's like, it's actually pretty funny. Yeah, he's pretty good.
He was the kicker for the Indianapolis Colts, and didn't he like retire to work for Barstool Sports?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude. He's good though, dude, and especially the shit he does in WWE. Man.
I watched it. I don't really watch his show. I mean, I should. But
I don't watch the show.
I watched a segment of his show because he had. It was the UFC pay-per-view a couple weeks ago with McGregor and stuff. Like, obviously, the McGregor fight was very anticlimactic because he just fucking broke his leg and
I'm just glad I didn't pay $70 for that.
Well, the rest of the card was good. Honestly, I was more looking forward to other parts of the card.
It was like Greg Hardy was on the fucking...
Yeah, he got fucking
knocked out.
Smashed by that Australian dude. He does... Tai Tuivasa, his name is, and he does fucking shoeies. You know what that is?
No.
He literally... I guess it's like an Australian thing. Like, he'll literally, like... It's like Stone Cold in WWE where he's like, hey, pass me a couple beers, you know. But what he does is someone will fucking throw him his shoe from the crowd, throw him a beer.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
The beer in a fucking shoe, dude, and drinks it. And he did like 4 of... Because, like, he did like 4 of them. So somebody was like, Tai Tuivasa creating his own strain of COVID in Las Vegas tonight.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna give you like fucking,
I know, you
like,
give you fucking staph infection.
Yeah, like, I don't know, dude.
That's
yeah,
disgusting. And then like my mom, I showed her a video of it and she's like, oh, he just ruined his shoe. I'm like, that's the last part I'd be worried about.
Yeah, dude, you just like, you get some sort of like fucking gangrene in your
Yeah,
stomach or something.
It's like can give you a fucking infection in your blood. But
but hey, you won your UFC fight, buddy.
The fight that kicked off the regular card was Sean O'Malley, who's like, I don't know if you've seen him, he has like crazy dreads and tattoos and shit. But he fought a guy who is like, you know, someone who would be fighting at Emerald Queen Casino. He fought him on 10 days notice because his original opponent like pulled out or something. And like normally when a guy like gets a late notice like that, you know, it's like Rocky, you know, you just try to go the distance with him, but you know you're going to get knocked out. Like, this dude, like, I've never seen anything like it. Like, he literally, like, because they have the judges' scorecards, like, this dude literally took 208 punches to the face.
Are you
from
fucking
O'Malley.
kidding me?
And then he's from, like,
Jeez.
Boston or Massachusetts somewhere. And he was back in Massachusetts on Monday, showing up early to teach his jiu-jitsu classes. And his face is still all fucking mangled and shit. Like, he literally, like, the whole fight was just him just punching him, getting punched in the face over and over again for 15 minutes. And, like, I'm like, oh, there's 30 seconds left in the fight. And, like, you don't always have to get knocked on the ground to get it stopped. Like, if the ref notices, like, you're fucked up but you're still standing, he'll wave it off. And he waved it off with, like, 30 seconds left. But it was literally, like, straight out of Rocky. Because I've actually been watching the Rocky movies. I've never seen them before. And in the very first one, you know, you've seen, like, the first one.
I've seen them all, except for I haven't seen the Creed ones.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Creed ones.
I have them, but, like, and then I never finished the very last, like, Rocky 6 or whatever.
Like the Rocky Balboa that came out in like 2006.
Yeah.
But in the very first one, he said that he's like, I don't care if Apollo Creed opens my head. All I want to do is go the distance. Like, that's literally what this guy did.
Yeah.
So he, like, went viral, went from being, you know, fucking nobody to... Originally, he was supposed to be on the Contender Series this coming season, but then they, you know, he was at the top of the priority list, so they gave him a 4-fight contract right away. And he was on the Pat McAfee show a couple, like, last week to talk about that. So that's why I watched it.
Okay. Well, yeah, good for him, dude. I mean, you always want to hear a fuking Cinderella story, dude.
Yeah, and then he goes, oh, because you're done with your weight cut and shit, like, are you going to go treat yourself to, you know, because they can eat shit for 2 weeks after they're finally done cutting weight and stuff. He's like, yeah, man, I went to McDonald's today and I got some ramen last night. And they're like, that's what you award yourself with after getting the $75,000 fight of the night bonus? He's like, no, not like ramen in a packet, like a ramen bar, like a fancy like ramen bar, you know?
There's this thing called ramen noodles, guy, and it's not just sold in a package at Walmart.
Yeah, like there's actually, I've been to a ramen place when I was in Texas last year.
They just assume he's a piece of shit.
Yeah,
he's fucking ordering ramen.
Because he is look at him.
No, actually, I think I know. I think I did see like his face all fucked up because I did hear about the 75,000. I just don't know these names because I'm like very casual when it comes to UFC, so I don't really know like the fighters' names.
Like this
and stuff.
guy, like he has green hair and shit. He looks like the Joker. Like you wouldn't expect him to go to a fancy restaurant.
Oh, that's a fucking sweet dude. That's a sweet fucking set of hair, dude.
Yeah, and like they both had cool hair that night. Like this, like he had like braids with like curls in the back.
Oh wow,
looks like fucking Lucky Charms or some shit. He has a show too, like a podcast where it's him and his like head trainer coach. It's called the Timbo Sugar Show. It's only like an hour long.
The Timbo Sugar Show.
It's just 2 spun hippies with head trauma forgetting everything.
Shit,
they always forget everything, and I'm
man.
like, I need to be in your spot because I have like an insane memory. So like, I could have easily like they always forget everything.
Do you think it's just because like they smoke too much weed, or you think it's just head trauma?
That along with head trauma, you know, like like I saw a segment of some sort of like sports medicine specialist on Joe Rogan, and they said that when you get head trauma for being a fighter or for being a football player, it takes 10 years to actually show the effect
before
you start actually show the effects of it.
No.
So like the people who are like, you know, like him who's like 26 years old already clearly showing effects of it. Like just imagine what it's like in 10 fucking years.
Oh my god, dude. That just scares me.
Because like I've seen brain scans of like, you know, what a normal brain is and then like what a CTE brain is, and like literally it creates holes in your fucking brain. That's what it is.
I know, it's like when they looked at Chris Benoit's head.
Yeah, like the brain of like an 80-year-old.
Well, it's crazy to think is like Chris Benoit's the whole reason we have CTE scans.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's all CTEs that's so prevalent
now. That day changed the world of sports forever. Because that day, because now like they have better technology for NFL football helmets every single year, you know, stuff like that.
And it's Chris Nowinski that's the one that's and he's
a
former WWE fucking superstar. What the fuck? It's like fucking 15 degrees of Kevin Bacon, dude, except for CTE and fucking WWE. It's ridiculous, dude. I don't know. It's good though that they have like shown so much because I mean the attitude for it back in like the day, it was just like you get your bell rung, get back in there, dude, which is like the worst thing you could fucking do, dude.
50s and I think my dad told me like they didn't start wearing like helmets and face shields in hockey till like the 70s.
Yeah, it was like
80s,
the 70s, 80s.
Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
Now like I was watching like during the regular season, I was watching the Minnesota Wild and LA Kings, and a dude got. I mean, you can still get your face shield when it goes to like right here, like below your eyes, so
you still get fucked up.
And like I was watching the Wild and the Los Angeles Kings game, and this dude on the Kings got fucking blasted right here. That it was worse than any like UFC boxing.
It's like Joey Mercury level.
Yeah, it was pretty close to that. Like he was right in the middle. Like it's one thing to get fucking like cracked in like your fucking forehead or something, but it was like right here. It was just like looked like fucking, you know, Freddy Krueger or something. Man, that speaking of like in that pay-per-view, the McGregor pay-per-view a couple weeks ago, like this girl, I think it was like the second fight on the main card. It was like two girls, I can't remember who, but she got this fucking like horrid just deep cut on her forehead right here, and someone tweeted, "Oh man, I saw her gash and I didn't even have to pay money for it."
Jesus Christ, dude. I'm gonna fuck her fucking forehead, man. Jesus.
You make like a fleshlight.
Masturbated for days off that.
off that unintentional gash.
Yeah,
that's a real that you can call the other girl who fought her. You can call her a real gash basher.
That's a good one, dude. No,
I'm looking at that Sunny figure. Yeah, I went to Walgreens the other day to get like some energy drinks and stuff, and like they have a little like toy section. They always have like
it's not bad.
They have like a couple wrestling figures. And it's usually like just some regular ones. Like I don't really care about getting like some regular like Seth Rollins or something. One I screwed up on was a couple years ago. They had a fucking Ronda Rousey one sitting there.
Oh shit!
And I didn't get it, and I was like, I never seen it again. I'm sure it's just on eBay. But I go in there the other day. And just to get like some drinks and stuff for work, and I go, and they have that fucking Rob Gronkowski one.
Oh no shit!
It's like remember what he wore at the WrestleMania before with like that blue jacket and the sunglasses. It has that on it, so I'm like, I have to buy this today.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
And it was like that blue jacket, and then it comes with a 24/7 title.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
That was won by Reginald or whatever.
Yeah, last night. Yeah, I saw that shit. But he was all doing all the like that crazy like acrobatic stuff. Like,
well, because didn't you know like he once worked? He used to be a Cirque du Soleil performer.
I don't know shit about that guy, dude.
Yeah, like I was just listening to. Because Jim Cornette always makes fun of, like, on his show, he makes fun of, like, the dumb, like, feminine, stupid, sissy shit in wrestling. Which I kind of get, I kind of don't. Yeah. Like, okay, sorry that not every wrestler, like, in the 80s is getting into a fucking bar brawl and shit. But, like, I do, they basically did, like, a deep dive on him. And I guess he used to be a fucking Cirque du Soleil performer. So that's why he's all acrobatic.
It makes sense. I mean, that's cool though, dude. Like, I was pretty impressed when I saw that, but I was like, I don't know, because like his whole run on the, you know, because like, first he was with Carmella,
the wine, what do they call it? A savant.
I was just like, this is lame, dude. I thought it was
a sommelier. That's what they call him. Yeah.
And then they paired him up with like Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax,
and Nia Jax.
I did like how Nia Jax was like, oh, come here, Reginald, and like, and then just fucking headbutts him. I'm like, yeah, Nia, take him out. Like, I like Nia Jax, dude. I don't care if she fucking breaks people's faces.
Yeah, I don't mind. Dude. Even if she's more reckless in the ring than fucking Ryback.
Jesus fucking! I hope Ryback never comes back, dude. That guy is the worst.
Whenever I think of Ryback, I just think of that CM Punk shoot interview. That where he just went on a tangent with him about Ryback for like 20 minutes, where he's like, I'm sorry. He's like, you told me you weren't gonna fucking drop me again like that, and he goes, I'm sorry, man. I'm just fucking stupid.
I'm just a fucking stupid piece of shit.
Did you hear that CM Punk's second, because he only had 2 UFC fights, did you hear the second one got overturned after like 3 years because the other guy had a positive weed test?
Which is fucking hilarious, dude.
I was just watching his UFC fights, like, God, I mean, I was younger when that happened in 2016 and 2018, but like when you looked at him, like he just doesn't look like he belongs in there. Like, cause like when you like look at a fighter, no matter if he is a heavyweight or the tiny guys who are 125 pounds, like they're cut. Like he just looked like when you see him in there, he just looks like wide and like sloppy. Like that looks good for a pro wrestler, but like he just looks too like wide and stupid. Like I remember Matt Riddle, was a UFC fighter too.
Right.
He said that CM Punk made a terrible mistake of not like starting at like a lower level of like where he broadcasts now. Like he should have done that.
Amateur fights.
Yeah.
He should have came and hung out in Yakima for a while.
And like they made, I don't know if you remember, but like when he was like the month before his like debut, they did like a whole ass like weekly documentary series on Fox Sports 1. About his debut, and then his debut, he literally got taken down in like 30 seconds, and he never. It was
so bad.
Fight.
I wasted so much money on that fight.
I watched it for some reason at Buffalo. Like obviously that wasn't like the main event,
right?
But
the main event that night, that was what's his name, the heavyweight
Stipe Miocic and Alistair Overeem.
Yeah.
I remember I watched it at Buffalo.
That shit was good.
I watched that one at Buffalo Wild Wings because that was when I was more of a casual fan. And then for some reason they weren't charging for that one, so I was like, whatever.
Hey, dude, you can't fucking play in there, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even think was that here in Yakima you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like I haven't called around in a long time, but like I wonder what bars even.
Literally the only one that ever did, honestly, was that one. And then it'd always be like one weird place in Selah or something.
We saw the Brock Lesnar fight at the like some it used to be Susie's down there on North First Street. We used to do open mic there for like a little tiny bit, dude.
Like the end zone, like that?
The end zone, that's it, yeah. It was the end zone, and like, so we went and saw the Brock Lesnar fight there, and they were charging like, it was like $10.
Yeah, I watched the money fight, the McGregor-Mayweather boxing fight. Yeah. I watched that at Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's like a whole experience because they put it on every, they have 100 TVs in there, they put it on every single one. Nice. Then there's like those windows that outside is like the mall, like corridor. So they put down curtains on every window. They turn the lights, all the lights off, so then nobody's, being a fucking freeloader and like looking through the window or like fucking outside, Well,
yeah, man. I mean, they get charged so much fucking money just to air that shit, dude. It's like
I don't know, like,
for that shit.
I feel like they do some like deal for bars or something because one time I was at my grandma's house and it was the Money in the Bank 2011, John Cena and CM Punk, and so instead of ordering on
the pay-per-view.
Instead of ordering it on the pay-per-view, I ordered it on my laptop, and then we like did the thing where you used to be able to like plug into a TV, and then you put it in TV. Yeah. And like when I was given the options of ordering it, like it asked like, "Oh, is this just like your home computer? Is it like a bar thing?" So I think like they must give them some deal, so it like. You pay a lot, but that is the reason it plays on all of them.
Right. Yeah, man, dude, it's always fun to like watch anything with a crowd, dude. Like I always remember like when the Seahawks like beat the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah,
and Sherman got that tip, dude.
When he's not fucking trying to bust down doors now.
Oh my god, we'll talk about that in a second, dude. But like when like he got that tip, dude, and like we got the fucking interception, and we knew that we were leaving, dude. Like everybody in the bar was like hugging each other, dude, and like high fiving, dude. Like it was a fucking moment in time, dude. But. Yeah, Richard Sherman, man, he scared the shit out of me with that video, dude. Like I was like, fuck.
Like, what the? I thought I'm
come at me, boom, 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 boom. It's just like smashing that door.
Did I ever tell you like way before he was one of the best defensive backs in the league. Like I talked to him when I was like 10 years old.
Nah, dude, I don't think he'd ever told me that one.
So when he was in college at Stanford, his first 2 years he was a wide receiver. Then they switched him to defensive back. And when I was in 5th grade, I was 10 years old. He was a freshman in college, and I went to the UW and Stanford game. And it was like a battle of the two fucking worst teams. Both teams were winless.
Yeah, UW was pretty shitty back then.
That was back when they let like Isaiah stand back, but he was always hurt. He was out for the season. And that was back. Have you ever been to Husky Stadium? So back then, it was a shithole. Like it was literally like a high school.
I remember
it was a shithole.
Yeah.
Now
I've driven by it.
Now since they renovated it, it's literally an NFL stadium.
Is it?
But back then, like they didn't even like back then. It was one of those things where like when you go to an arena, you walk down to your seat. From the concourse.
Yeah.
There you walked up to your seat. There was no concourse.
Oh yeah, that's like fucking Eisenhower, dude. That's how the fucking shit is
it was literally like a exaggerated high school stadium.
You're right, it is.
But now they renovated it. Now it's like an NFL team.
You
the Seahawks who play there. So
I've been to Pullman, but I haven't been to
I'm 10 years old and we're like up against the fence, like just seeing these Stanford guys play catch. And a ball gets overthrown. And it comes and hits the fence right by where we're at, and a guy with dreadlocks comes and picks it up, and the back of his jersey says Sherman. And he looks up at us, because he sees we're like little kids, he's like, hey, how you guys doing and stuff? And then what's crazy is like 4-5 years later, like 2011, I went to the Vikings and Seahawks preseason game, and obviously Richard Sherman was undrafted. He wasn't a top pick or anything. And back then, he was probably even trying to like make the team. He wasn't, like a certain, And we're at the game, and it says Richard Sherman due to return. We're like, and we had known him because like way back when we like talked to him, we looked him up and found his name and stuff. And then we're like, oh shit, that's the guy we talked to like 5 years ago. And then lo and behold, give it another like 2 years, and he's the fucking best cornerback in the game. And from 2012 to 2016, 17. I mean, now he's kind of older, falling off.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that was half the reason he had the fucking meltdown to begin with, dude. It sounds like he's like coming to terms with the end of his fucking career, dude, which is, something I guess everybody has to come to, especially in the sports world, because he's. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like 10 years in the league and stuff, and that's usually what your average is like. Yeah,
pretty
3
much.
years in the league.
Unless you're broke like Adrian Peterson, you have to play till you fucking die. Jeez, that's why he still plays. He's like almost 40 years old.
Did he play last season?
Yeah, last season he was on Detroit, and then
he played on Detroit. See, I didn't even like hear his name at all
Detroit
last season.
Was garbage. So I mean,
he wasn't like get fired.
What?
That Piora guy or whatever?
Matt. What the fuck is his name? Matt Patricia.
He
got fired and he's already like back with the New England staff.
Oh, that's so.
That's what always happens.
That's gay.
My dad, and his friend are football junkie experts. So like he always sees like whenever these Belichick guys go coach on their own as a head coach.
Yeah.
He grooms them and teaches them to be good, but not great, not as good as him, not better than him.
I mean, it's a noble thing, but at the same time, it's kind of a bitch thing to do.
Because like Matt Patricia goes and coaches the Lions for like 2 or 3 years, gets fired, either garbage.
Same
then
guy,
there's like
that one dude,
Josh McDaniels, who coached like the Broncos.
Yeah, he was the Broncos coach.
He coached like the Broncos. They were.
He had Tim Tebow, dude.
Yeah, and then I think he just went back to New England, I think.
He's still in New England.
Yeah,
because they tried. He was gonna go. Wasn't he going to? There was a team he was committed to. Indianapolis, wasn't it?
Indianapolis.
Yeah, he was committed. I think it was Indianapolis, wasn't it? And he was, but then he rescinded.
That's just what they always do. And then I think Patricia. I don't know if he got fired last year or the year before. Because I feel like
I think it was last. I think he was still in the league last year.
Because let me look here if it was 2019 or 2020.
Oh, what do you think about Stafford going to LA?
I mean, anybody who beats the Seahawks, I'm good with that.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
But
you think he's better than? I mean, I don't know.
Jared Goff.
He probably is, right?
I think Stafford's great. He's just been in garbage Detroit, who has been a team in no direction. Like as long as I've been fucking alive, they've made the playoffs like one time from what I can.
And
remember.
We beat them. We beat them in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, they made the play. I remember one time it was like that time, and then there was another time they lost to like the Saints in the first round. But I just feel like he could be great if just given an opportunity elsewhere with a good coach and stuff. And I don't know, Jared Goff's weird. It's like he's good every other year. It's like he went to this. Wait, no. He went to 18, went to the Super Bowl, flopped. 19, they didn't even make the playoffs. They placed like 4th or something like that. And then last year they beat the Seahawks in the playoffs. And then
and fucking he beat us with like a broken rib or something.
Yeah, he wasn't even gonna play. I think. And then
we took out their backup.
Yeah,
that one play where he just like slammed his ass.
Yeah, and then he came back in injured, like because I think he was like dressed to play.
He was dressed, yeah,
but he was dressed to play, but then like it was like an emergency thing. He's like, and then he didn't think he'd get hurt.
I think it was like wasn't a broken thumb or some shit,
something like that. Yeah. Well, didn't you hear Tom Brady played all of last year with a torn MCL?
I heard about that,
and he was never questionable, listed on it as like questionable one time.
I wonder why.
I don't
just
know,
never
it's
detected
weird.
it.
Like, he's gonna play till he dies, I guess. Which is weird because like when you have like I play fantasy basketball and like literally this entire season, I had LeBron James on my team because I think I had like the 2nd pick overall in the draft, and literally every single day because you have to change your lineup every day when you're fantasy basketball. Literally every day he was listed as questionable, even though he only missed. Well, eventually he hurt his ankle and he missed like a month, but literally he was questionable every single game. And even though like they just because it was just because he's so old.
Is he still good?
I mean,
at this point, like,
I mean, they got bounced in the first round, but then again,
I was happy about that.
But then again, they had the NBA Finals in October of last year,
right?
So and then they had to go right back to training camp after Thanksgiving for the new season. So of all the teams, they had the fastest turnaround. They had like a 60, 70 day turnaround when all these other teams, like the teams that suck, had been sitting at home for 6.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
That's why the Heat. I mean, they got bounced in the first round. Lakers got bounced in the first round. It's really been like this whole NBA playoffs has been like survival of the fittest, honestly. And now we're at Game 6 tonight, and it's like, I don't know. It's weird. Like the Bucks have been right there, and then Phoenix as well. But I think the Bucks are a little bit more experienced because they've had their backs against the wall. They were down in the series 2-0, and they perform under pressure. The Suns don't seem to be doing that. They seem to be, I don't know, they're too young and they're too scared as opposed to the Bucks who are performing under pressure. So I think they're going to pull it off tonight, or I think Game 7 will be on Friday.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this episode comes out next Monday.
yeah. So we'll have an NBA champion by then.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. I was rooting for the Phoenix Suns, man. Like even when the playoffs started earlier, like in May or whatever. And it feels like it's been forever, dude.
The NBA playoffs last for like NFL playoffs. You're done in a month.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, you're done.
It's like 2 months.
NBA playoffs normally. I mean, they started in May this year because the season didn't start till Christmas, and normally the season starts at like Halloween. And
they normally start in April.
Yeah, they start like the 3rd week of April.
Wow.
But then, it
was delayed this year then. Okay,
yeah, because remember last year they did the playoffs from like August to October in the Disney World bubble, and then the regular season started again like Christmas time. And the season was 10 games less than it normally is. The season's usually 82 games, but this was 72.
Right.
Because they want to condense it, but then not have to have. Because I don't know if you remember, like 2012, they had that lockout shortened season.
Yep.
Every team had to play a trip. Like teams will play back to backs all the time, but every team one time in that lockout shortened season had to play a back to back to back. So they want to avoid that. So even though it's condensed, they have less games.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, man. I'm excited for hockey this year, dude.
Yeah, it's Seattle Kraken. I'm already sick of hearing about it.
Are you? Why does that make you sick,
like,
Jack?
you know where I work, so like.
Oh yeah, you work at right.
People always bother me about it. And
hey man, you got the new Kraken gear?
We do, but like I don't know. It could be. I mean, we'll get better stuff soon, but
I think the logo's cool. But like, I think like
they could. I mean, my team, the Minnesota Wild, has a lame logo too.
Yeah.
Of Minnesota's the state.
Not that bad.
Minnesota's the state of hockey.
Uh-huh.
And they, of course, have the lamest logo, and they have the lamest uniforms. Shit. Like, our uniforms looks like we're wearing Christmas sweaters year-round.
I've never minded, like, the Wild's look, dude. I like the green. And,
I like it, but I don't. Like, I like the simple, like, original teams' looks. You know, like the Maple Leafs and the
Maple Leafs have a cool logo.
And the fucking Boston Bruins, Rangers.
Yeah.
And speaking of, when I went to UFC in Arizona last month, I'm looking around the crowd to like spot celebrities. And first, like, they always show them on the screen in between fights, and they showed fucking DK Metcalf was there.
Oh, no shit.
And then
that's cool.
I'm at another point, it's like between fights, and I'm like looking towards it because I'm sitting like on the 100 level, a little like halfway up.
That's not bad, dude.
And I'm looking and I'm seeing this. It was 110 degrees. Like it was horribly hot every day. Like you get dehydrated just from walking out of my friend's house to the car, in his driveway.
Right.
And I'm looking around, and I look in the first row, and there's a guy wearing a hoodie with his hood up. I'm like, what the fuck? It's up. Sorry. I'm like, who's this guy? It's 110 degrees out. He's got a fucking hoodie on. And then the next one they show celebrities, it's fucking Justin Bieber. And then he was with
Justin Bieber.
He was with Austin Matthews, who I don't know if you have like NHL 20.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the cover.
Leafs.
That he's with Austin Matthews. He plays for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
And which is weird because
that's the copy that I have actually.
Yeah, he plays for the Maple Leafs.
Oh
and
wow.
He was
fucking Justin Bieber's hanging out with Austin Matthews.
Yeah. I mean, they're both from Toronto, Canada.
That makes fucking complete sense.
And
I forget that guy's Canadian.
But it's weird because Austin Matthews got drafted by the Maple Leafs, Canada, where hockey started. And it's weird because, like, he's from Arizona. Phoenix. Like, you'd never think, like, a star hockey. Like, usually all the star hockey players are from Finland, on the other side of the world. Finland, Switzerland, stuff like that, where it's cold and stuff. Or they're from, Minnesota. There's teams like, half the players are from, from Minnesota and stuff, or they're from Canada, and then you never think, a dude who's like, he's like half Hispanic or something, and he's the number 1 overall pick from Arizona going to the Maple Leafs.
Right, but the fucking Maple Leafs, they still can't get past that fucking, like, is like the first or second round?
Yeah, they're in the first round, and then, like, that was the thing, like, they showed on, like, ESPN the celebrities at the fight, and they showed Austin Matthews next to Justin Bieber, and they put, like, a name thing for Justin Bieber, but they don't put anything for Austin Matthews, and then someone put, he's unnoticeable, just like in the playoffs.
Ah, dude, that's burn, dude. That's a fucking burn, man.
So they were there, and then, like, some Arizona Coyotes players were there, because it was at their arena.
Right.
Because there's 2 arenas. There's the Suns Arena downtown, and then there's the Gila River Arena.
I didn't know they had 2 separate arenas.
Yeah, so when I lived there, that whole place, like, my parents always talk about, right before I moved, it's in this place called Westgate, where it's like, you know how Tequila is in Seattle? That whole, like, shopping district and stuff? It's honestly like that. It's literally in the middle of something like that. And then the Cardinal Stadium is across the street.
Okay.
In a suburb called Glendale, which is like a half hour, 45 minutes away from downtown Phoenix. Right. And, so there was, like, some Coyotes players there. DK Metcalf was there, and Charles Woodson was there, I think. But I didn't recognize any of the Coyotes players. It just showed like 4 dudes sitting together and it said Arizona Coyotes. I just know that they have their old, they have our old goalie, but I couldn't tell if it was him or not. He was like our back. Every team has 2 goalies, but then one plays way more than the other.
Right.
One plays like once a week, and then the other one, the star one, plays most of them, or if they're on like a back-to-back. So they have like our old goalie. So I don't know if it was if he was one of them or what, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, dude, I'm a little sad just with the Canucks coming in, dude. I've had to give up my fandom for the Vancouver Canucks.
I have some relatives.
The Kraken, I mean. I always get them mixed up. It's like Canucks, Kraken, Canucks, Kraken.
Yeah. I have some relatives who live in Vancouver. I don't know. I haven't seen them in like 15 years.
Yeah.
But they had season tickets to the Canucks.
Yeah, that's what's up, dude. Like, I never got to go to a game, dude. And I'm like, I'm a little disappointed because they just announced all the preseason games because they're not going to be playing them in Seattle. They're playing them across the state. So, like, one of the games is in Spokane. And
is one of them in Tri-Cities, maybe?
No, unfortunately, it's like Everett, Spokane, and then the place we went to,
Kent.
Yeah, in Kent. So like, yeah, they're playing preseason games there, but dude, and they're playing the Canucks up in Spokane, and it's already sold out. Like,
you can get tickets on StubHub, probably.
Yeah, probably so, but I don't know, sometime in October, dude. And honestly, dude, I don't really want to drive ever back to Spokane, dude.
Yeah, like my UFC ticket, sitting in the 100 level for a pay-per-view was, like $300, and we got in like the pre-sale of the pre-sale, and I looked on StubHub for the last one in Las Vegas, the McGregor one. The most cheapest ticket was like in the 300 level on some like standing room place for like $700.
Jeez, that is ridiculous, dude. They fucking it's highway robbery with the UFC.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like it's not like WWE. Like you know, they have 3 TV shows every week, so it's easy to get tickets. But then like you have to be on top of it to like get a good ticket to UFC. I mean, because like you know they have like the pay-per-views, but then they have like the free fight nights. Right. They're still doing like the free fight nights at their Apex thing with no fans, just because Dana White said like, you know, right now like still. I mean, he said this like. So the first pay-per-view with fans with a full arena was in April in Jacksonville. Yeah. But he said, he's like, I think for right now, probably the rest of the year, we're only going to do pay-per-views with fans because I don't want to be like, you know, basketball or baseball with half full, you know, or something like that.
Yeah,
so like
true.
He's like, and like, look, half the country's open up, or you know, a third of it is fully open, and then he's like, yo, I was at New York City last week at the stock exchange, and there's still a fucking he said some hotel was still closed in like April of this year, so it's like, you know, I mean now, I mean everything's pretty much seems like, I don't know. I know the Minnesota Twins, they have full crowds. You know, I think everywhere has full crowds.
Yeah, Mariners have full crowds right now. And they're gonna have full crowds for Seahawks games this year.
When they started and they were like, you know, like the beginning of this MLB season where they were saying like, oh, half full, a third full. They're like, oh, I won't even if they say a third full, you know, or a fourth full, you know, it won't even be anything different from the Florida Marlins.
It really what it did.
Have you ever seen like their games? Like they literally have like 20 sections of just empty seats, and they built that brand new stadium that was supposed to be all cool and like, you know,
well, it's kind of like Jacksonville, you know, with the pool and shit.
Yeah, with the pool. Like, I
don't know. Now that like AEW's around, I kind of have like a little bit more of appreciation for the Jacksonville Jags, because I'm like Tony Khan's the shit, dude. So you know, whatever.
I always like, I don't know. I feel like there's like those teams where they're like they feel more obscure, like that. Like okay, before the Bills were good. Felt like they were one team.
They were
Jaguars just felt like you never heard about them. Stuff like that. But now, I mean, the Bills are great. I mean, they're 2 games out of the Super Bowl this year. And Jacksonville, I don't know, they should be good. Like, what they're doing is smart because they fucking signed Tim Tebow just for who even knows if he'll make the team. But it's good because it took all the pressure off the number 1 pick.
That's pretty smart. That's pretty fucking smart, dude.
Because now, like, normally when... Normally, you know, when they take a quarterback first overall, the whole offseason from the day he gets drafted to the first game, it's, oh, is he ready to go? Is he ready to go? Is he going to start? Is he going to start? And they haven't said one word about that. It's all just been about stupid Tim Tebow.
You know, it sounds like that he's playing pretty good out there, though, from all I've heard. Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, I wish the Vikings were in a different sort of position instead of having Kirk Cousins, who... I don't know. He's good. He can win you divisions, but I don't think... And hey, shit, he came up big against the New Orleans Saints in the playoffs one time, but I feel like he's that guy. Like, he'll win you your division. He'll win you your 1 or 2 playoff games, but he's not, to me, unless something happens, he's not Brady elite. He's not Aaron Rodgers elite. He's not Drew Brees elite. Right. You know, he'll win you playoff games. He'll take you to the playoffs.
Well, Aaron Rodgers will only take you so far too, man. That guy's the king of the NFC Championship.
Like, I was so glad to hear that like he wanted to be traded and stuff. I'm like, we'll win the division for the next 5 years, because then we got playing the guy they drafted, Jordan Love, who's like. Do you remember when the Seahawks backup Geno Smith was like starting for the Jets? They drafted him and he was fucking garbage.
Yeah,
like he reminds me of like Geno Smith, this guy. And then they play if they Bears keep Andy Dalton as a starter, Andy Dalton and Jared Goff, who's just like a big question mark. We'd win the division for 5 years in a row till the guy the Bears drafted, Justin Fields, became we'd find out if he was good or not, because their last quarterback they drafted Mitch Trubisky 3rd overall. Way before Patrick Mahomes, and he's garbage, and now he's a backup on the Bills. Like that is such a relief that they didn't draft Patrick Mahomes, and then we'd have to play. That's like the division with the Jets and stuff, and it had to play Brady for 20 years. Yeah. Nobody ever won a division. I mean, except the year he got hurt, and so like it could have been a possibility that we had to have Patrick Mahomes in our division for the next 20 years. But
thank God for that. That's not the case. Well, Jack Hennessy, I think that's where we ended, dude. Patrick Mahomes, dude. Yeah, Thank God he's in Kansas City.
But I love him, though.
Me too.
My parents met his dad back in the day.
That's what's up, dude.
Because he was a pitcher for the Mets and the Minnesota Twins, and I think like the Phillies, too.
Oh shit, dude. Well, you always I know, dude. You always come on here with like interesting stories about meeting like all these celebrities, like Richard Sherman, fucking. Kind of met Justin Bieber, right?
Yeah, so I was in his presence.
You're
man.
in his presence.
I could see his tattoos from my seat with my own eyes.
Y'all zooming in on the fucking camera and shit, like, oh shit, get that selfie.
Yeah, dude. Like I have a picture of me standing by the octagon. I'm like, yo, Justin Bieber's in the background of my photos.
That's pretty badass, dude. Well, all right, man. Anything you want to final words, final things to promote, or anything?
I don't think so right now, man.
Okay.
Just getting to the quarter century mark when this video this podcast drops.
Dude. Well, happy birthday, Jack. We'll promote your birthday. That's what
Leo season.
Everybody can leave you a happy birthday message on Facebook.
Dude, my thing will just be red notification all day long.
Shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.